We've got an issue in Milwaukee yet again. Now we have another African American shot by police. Was the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do? Well, that is a matter in great dispute. Sylville Smith was shot and killed by police officers in Milwaukee over the weekend. And he was a young African American male. He did seem to have a weapon on him. We're going to give you all the sides of that story right now. First, his family. Kimberly Neal, sister of Smith, says, "My brother was no felon. My brother was running for his life. He was shot in his back." Now, that is not confirmed. Edward Flynn, who's the Milwaukee police chief, says the opposite. He says he saw the body cam video from the cops. He says, "I know what I saw. Based on what I saw, didn't hear, don't know what the autopsy results are going to be. He certainly appeared to be within lawful bounds." Now, that's referring to the police officer who shot Smith. Now, he admits there is a fog of war, and sometimes the stories that come out within 24 hours are oftentimes a little wrong or a lot wrong, depending on the situation. There's no audio in the body cam, so you just see the video. But the cops say that he was running away with a gun. They had stopped him on a traffic stop. Then he ran. Now, where it gets really murky is, did he turn around and the cops shot him? And that is what the police are maintaining. Or was he still running when he was shot? But either way, it appears that the police are very adamant that he did have a gun on him. Okay. Now, they also explain Smith had a lengthy arrest record, according to Barrett, and officials said earlier he was carrying a stolen handgun loaded with 23 rounds of ammunition when stopped. And apparently they say that where he, well, we don't want to say where he stole that handgun, but where that handgun was originally stolen, there was 500 rounds of ammunition. Now, if you have a lengthy arrest record, we don't know what all those arrests were for. But the answer to that isn't to shoot someone, of course. It is to arrest them and to go through the justice system. But if he had a weapon and he had turned around, then obviously the cops, if they feared for their life, would be within their rights to shoot him. Now, whether they did the shooting right or not, we'll have to see. You'll have to get all the evidence. You'll have to see the video. We haven't seen it yet. Whether the cops will be charged is a different story. In the real world, if he had a weapon, they're not going to get charged. They're going to say, well, I mean, look, he was running away and he could have been a danger to us. Maybe he turned around, or even if he didn't turn around, he still could have turned around and could have been a danger to us. He also showed a violent tendency, so we were worried he was going to shoot someone else with that weapon as he's running away. So if they say that, it seems inconceivable that they would be convicted of anything, and probably fairly inconceivable that they would even be charged. So remember that Milwaukee's got its fair share of issues in the past, along with, unfortunately, in many cities in America. Policing in Milwaukee has come under scrutiny, Reuters explains, since 2014, when Dontre Hamilton, a mentally ill, unarmed black man, was fatally shot in a park by a white officer, an incident that sparked largely peaceful protests. Okay, now, in this case, what we had was not a peaceful protest. So we don't yet know how bad the police shooting was in the first place, but obviously there's a great deal of frustration in African-American community, not just in Milwaukee, although yes, specifically in Milwaukee as well, but all throughout the country. So there was an adverse reaction here. This time the protests were not peaceful. Some, of course, were, perhaps the majority were, but we certainly had protests that were not peaceful. So police said that they began attempting to disperse crowds after shots were fired and objects, including rocks and bottles, were thrown by some protesters. Several arrests were reported. Now, I mean, let me be clear. The first set of protests happened on Saturday night. They were much, much worse. And then Sunday night, there was a second round with shots fired and also led to arrests. Now, now back to Saturday night, because that first description was Sunday night. They explained on the previous night, that Saturday, shots were fired, 6 businesses were burned, and police cars damaged before calm was restored in the area, which has a reputation for poverty and crime. 17 people were arrested and 4 officers were injured. Okay. Actually, let me show you the pictures now, and then I'll tell you about how there was a peaceful protest later. But you can see, clearly cars smashed. That's a gas station they lit on fire. 3 people were inside when they lit it on fire. They all made it out okay. They had enough time to get out. but that fire is very scary looking, and many of the cop cars were damaged as this car was lit on fire. And you can see this is no joke. This is a very real and unproductive action. Now, this is different. This is a protest, not connected to the fires, okay? So let me read you the last part from Reuters. They say that after all this happened, things calmed down, and about 200 people lit candles and gathered near the spot where Smith was shot. A few officers looked on as faith and community leaders implored protesters to restrain their anger. So, nobody's a winner here. We're going to have to see if the cops did the right thing or the wrong thing as evidence from that comes in. But obviously, the African-American community is deeply frustrated. But this is not the way to express that frustration. Easy for me to say sitting here in my studio, but when you're out in the streets, there's a lot of anger. And actually, a person who news channel interviewed there was apparently Smith's younger brother, and he expressed that anger. I want to let you listen to him, and then we'll talk this thing through.
Stan tells me he's actually the brother of the victim. He's promised not to use any profanity tonight on live television. Take me through what's going on right now.
Right now, you got a city riot going on because, once again, the police has failed to protect us like they say they was going to do. They failed to be here for the people like they say they sworn in to do. And us as a community, we're not going to protect ourselves. But if we don't have anyone to protect us, then this is what you get. You get riots. You got people out here going crazy. We losing loved ones every day to the people that sworn in to protect us. It's other stuff that's going on out here, and you wonder why it's ISIS in America.
Sedan, certainly people upset here tonight, but we've got, innocent business owners who are now going up in flames. What's it going to take for you guys to be okay tonight and to stop this chaos?
It ain't me. It's not me. I'm going to let y'all know that now. It's not us guys neither. And I'm glad that y'all said that. It's not us. It's the police. This the madness that they spark up. This is what they encourage. This is what they provoke. This is what you get out of you taking a loved one from someone. This is what you get. You get a lot of people that's hurt, and they can't vent the right way. They can't no longer depend on the police to be here to protect us like they say they're going to do. So this is what you get. And no, it's not going to end today. I can't tell you it's going to end tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to end. But it's for y'all to start. We're not the ones that's killing us. Y'all killing us. We can't make a change if y'all don't change.
So that's powerful. Some of you might look at that and go, okay, that's a young kid, and some of it I understand and some of it I don't. He's saying, why don't the cops protect us? He mentioned ISIS somewhere in there. But I think that if you're paying attention to that anger and that passion, obviously his brother's killed, so he's very upset. But I think there's an important point in there, which is, look, if the cops are not trusted in the community, and every time somebody's shot by the cops, the community feels like that it's not the cops protecting them as much as it is the cops targeting them, and that trust has been broken. Well, this is going to be a natural result. He's not saying that it should happen. He's saying it's not us. I didn't do it. Us guys here didn't do it. In a lot of ways, they're the victims. So now he thinks his family in specific is the victims of the cops. But he says, look, if you react in that way or you act in that way, you're going to get this reaction. It's not the right reaction. I'm telling you it's not the right reaction. And by the way, so guys who lit that gas station on fire, you think there was the cops who shot Smith in there? No. This guy probably working his ass off, trying to, make a living. Two random dudes, I don't know if they were poor, middle class, whatever it was. But when you do random acts of violence, it never helps. All that does is it further escalates the cycle of injustice. It's no justice for those people either. But so it's not to encourage any action like this. Obviously, we're all against it. But what that kid is saying has some truth to it, which is that if you don't fix the system and you don't repair that broken trust, well, then the community is going to react in anger from time to time. And that anger is sometimes not going to be productive, and it's going to create another cycle of violence. And so let's not go in that direction. Instead, let's fix the underlying problem. I hope that we can all agree to that, because we don't want any of what happened here. We don't want the guys getting shot in the first place. We don't want the violence like we're seeing here, things being burnt down. Let's fix the underlying problem where we get all Americans treated in the same way, in an equal way, and that we have a justice system rather than an injustice system.